Our next speaker is a very special speaker. It's Luca Nicot. He is the recipient of the Vlček Family Foundation Young Researcher Award, and he will present for us the cultural differences in shared decision-making in pediatric palliative care. He won the first prize, and let's welcome him. Something I want to add, he was born in Italy, but lives in Germany and speaks 4 languages.
Thank you. Let me say thank you, first of all, for this prize, particularly because it's made possible by the Vlček Family Foundation, whose mission and extraordinary work really aligns with my own values. And I'd like to thank also the parents and the children I got to know during this research. They gave me so much. They gave me really so much more I could ever give back. I would also like to take a moment to express my gratitude to our team, especially Nari and Kerstin, and to my professors, Professor Monica Führer and Professor Gian Domenico Borasio, whose guidance and support have been invaluable throughout my academic journey. I'd like to express also my deepest gratitude to my beloved girlfriend, Sarah, whose love and support have been my constant source of strength. She's been and always will be the key to everything that is beautiful and shining in my life. And of course to my parents, Italian parents, as you mentioned, who have always supported and motivated me, inspired my curiosity about other cultures, so that I took the step to go out of Italy, my home country, and study medicine in Germany. I'm also deeply grateful to God, whose guidance and blessings have given me the strength and direction to pursue my dreams. So this recognition made possible by the Vlček family's vision and generosity motivates me to continue working with purpose and passion. Thank you once again for this remarkable acknowledgement. The boundaries of my language are the boundaries of my world. My name is Luca Nicot. I'm a doctoral student from the Faculty of Medicine at LMU Munich. And today I have the pleasure to introduce you to my doctoral thesis, Cultural Differences in Shared Decision-Making. It's about a qualitative study with families with migration background, professionals, and interpreters in the context of pediatric palliative care. So no conflicts of interest today. From a scientific point of view, we know that individuals with migration background often face a limited participation to palliative care, which often leads to misunderstandings and conflicts with the medical staff regarding treatment decision. And healthcare providers also experience this situation as challenging at the end of life. Additionally, language barriers frequently result in their exclusion from clinical studies, further hindering their access to health resources, very important health resources and support. And addressing these challenges is crucial to ensure equitable care for patients, for family, for all the children, regardless of their background. Our study wants to gain the experiences of families with migration background, but also experiences with families with migration background. And on the other hand, experiences and the personal perspective, professional perspective of qualified interpreters who are involved in such discussions. Everything is in relation to shared decision-making in the context of pediatric palliative care at the Children's Palliative Care Center at LMU in Munich. So the study has 3 pillars. Discussion groups with professionals, so with the doctors, with the nurses, with the psychosocial team. On second, interviews with families with migration background. And then we had also expert interviews with interpreters. The data was then analyzed through qualitative content analysis. The relationship between professionals and families in pediatric palliative care is burdened by additional uncertainties and additional concerns due to cultural differences. The communicative field where interactions and appeals take place becomes complex, stays uncertain, stays blurry. And it's difficult at times really to understand what's coming to the other person while I'm talking, while I'm discussing medical decisions. It becomes increasingly difficult to read between the lines, which is so important for communication. This uncertainty leads professionals to worry about making mistakes, not being able to adequately support the family in their concerns. And in this attempt to regain control, their communication and leadership style often leads to a kind of communication that can bring to significant misunderstandings in the relationship with the parents. On one hand, they avoid raising false hopes, not making overly personal questions, but on the other hand, they find themselves trying to convince the families of the hopelessness of the situation, when families do not react as expected from the healthcare providers. This reflects a professional mindset where doctors, nurses, and the whole team see their responsibility just in the medical aspect or in the field of competence they've studied and learned for. Families, however, feel through this kind of an enlightenment approach not respected, undermined in their autonomy, diminished in their role as equal partner in their relationship. As a result, they feel their autonomy is restricted and their hope is being threatened. I brought you two examples to make a little bit clearer what I'm talking about. A doctor in a discussion group interview said about the communication and engaging in this kind of deep communication with the families. We, the doctors, decide based on knowledge. You come here with a medical question. The question of faith, spirituality, and the deepest principle is so intimate, is so individual. What is my right to ask? Am I overstepping or not? On the contrary, we see parents who want to be accompanied in their existential grief, in the existential moment of life. A mother said to us, "The questions. I have to decide whether I want my child or not? No. If I only think that the whole time that it's not curable, then it doesn't help me. That it's just a demotivation for me. We still do not admit that it's not curable because he has forgotten a lot, but it's slowly coming back." So we see a really collide to different planes of reality, right? What we can hope for. I think it can be said that professionals should maintain their role as holistic companions. Despite the interdisciplinary collaboration that is so important in palliative care teams, the aim is to engage with families in a way that they feel seen, they feel accepted in their suffering. And this is achieved on the one hand if we accompany them on an existential level. And on the other hand, if support their attitude of hope, their room for hope, that's obviously culturally shaped. Accepting the suffering of another person means personally integrating this suffering into one's own experience. And in doing so, the individual may find meaning, a path of growth, and ultimately a path of hope through their suffering. I think about the Latin word consolatio, consolation. I think this expresses beautifully. Con, it means being with another, and then solation, in their solitude. And then it ceases to be solitude. The work and role of interpreters in decision-making discussion highlights this undoubtedly challenging and difficult task as follows. I am here between two cultures. Now, for the second one, the one that is foreign, that tells the truth, you're dying, it makes no sense anymore, there I try to ease, to facilitate the message. The truth, yes, but not in this way, so that one does not lose hope. And hope is very important. Hope dies last, and I don't want to take that hope away from him. We do not know when we will die. This is acceptable, but not the naked truth. This is a big difference. So the quotes make clear that interpreters not only face significant emotional distress, burden, emotional challenges also, but also go beyond mere translation, striving to convey the emotional layers and depth of communication, the language of the art. From these conclusions, the following suggestions or thoughts of mine emerge, and I'd like to discuss it with you. It could involve, for example, encouraging the inner dialogue for professionals, biographical work, introspection, to develop personal anchors of hope, so that we know and answer if the parents ask us what we can hope for. And so getting to address this personal belief, deep convictions of the family, getting to engage in a conversation with them about it. It will also be about holistic communication with the family, so that we really support them in their whole life situation, in the moment where they're at. It could also be some kind of reflective communication with the interpreters, who are a massive resource for us, actually, and involve them actively in the accompaniment process, and also offering supervision, offering pre and post discussions. This is also very, very important to them. So the extent of our language limits our ability to discuss the world, to understand the world. Therefore, it's important to nurture the development and the depth of communication, because ultimately the diversity of my language is the diversity of my world. Thank you.